Watch Lexi cut towards the basket. Hand in the air. Hand in the air. I'm wide open, Angel. And what do Angel do? Look, Angel. Doing nothing, bro. Brick Squad Monopoly in here, bro.
Angel Reese has once again found herself at the center of controversy, this time for a moment that has basketball fans, analysts, and even casual observers shaking their heads. The young forward, who has become one of the most talked about names in women's basketball, is now facing heavy criticism for what many are calling an incredibly selfish play during a recent unrivaled league game. This particular incident has sparked intense debates about her playing style, team chemistry, and overall priorities on the court. The now viral footage captures an in-game moment that left many wondering whether Reese is truly focused on winning or more concerned with personal glory. During a crucial possession, her teammate Lexi Hull made a perfect cut to the basket, positioning herself in prime scoring territory. With no defenders in sight and her hand raised, Hull was ready for a simple pass that would have led to an easy layup. Yet, despite this wide-open opportunity, Reese looked directly at her, ignored the obvious play, and instead forced up a contested shot. The result? A badly missed attempt that ultimately cost her team valuable points. What makes this even more baffling is that this wasn't a last-second high-pressure situation where a player might be excused for panicking or making a quick, poor decision. This was in the first quarter, a time when teams are still settling into the flow of the game. Hull's positioning was clear, the passing lane was wide open, and the right basketball move was painfully obvious. Yet Reese still chose to take the shot herself, leading to frustration among fans and analysts alike. This play isn't just a one-off mistake, it speaks to a larger issue that has followed Angel Reese throughout her career. Team chemistry is crucial in basketball, and when a player consistently makes decisions that ignore their teammates, it can create long-term problems. It's one thing to have a rough shooting night or struggle in a tough matchup, but when a player actively freezes out a teammate in an effort to boost their own numbers, it raises serious concerns. For Chicago Sky fans, this moment likely felt all too familiar. During the WNBA season, there were already murmurs that Reese sometimes prioritizes her own shot over making the right play. While she has undeniable talent, basketball is a team sport, and moments like this reinforce the narrative that her decision-making is often questionable. The fear is that this could carry over into the WNBA, where such tendencies could limit team success. Looking at the game as a whole, Reese's performance was far from impressive. In 13 minutes of action, she scored just 8 points on 4 of 10 shooting. She missed her only 3-point attempt and her only free throw, failing to add anything from the line. While she did grab 13 rebounds, an area where she has always excelled, her overall impact was minimal. More concerning, she committed 4 personal fouls and 2 turnovers, struggling to find her rhythm on both ends of the floor. But perhaps the most damning statistic of all? She failed to score a single point in the entire second half. For a player with aspirations of becoming a dominant force in the league, disappearing offensively in crucial moments isn't a good sign. Meanwhile, veteran Chelsea Gray put on a masterclass performance, carrying the team on her back with a staggering 38 points out of the team's total of 62. That means Gray was responsible for over 61% of their scoring, a Herculean effort that was ultimately wasted due to a lack of support. Fans couldn't help but feel for Gray, who was visibly frustrated as she tried to keep her team in the game almost single-handedly. Adding fuel to the fire is the fact that shortly after this rough game, Reese was seen engaging in photo ops with rappers and producers. While there's nothing wrong with athletes having outside interests, moments like these can sometimes give the impression that basketball isn't her top priority. Critics have already accused her of focusing more on her brand and social media presence rather than honing her skills, and incidents like this only add to that perception. For someone as polarizing as Angel Reese, scrutiny comes with the territory. Some fans defend her, arguing that she brings much-needed energy and personality to the game. But when plays like this happen, it becomes harder to justify some of her on-court decisions. At the professional level, it's not just about talent, it's about making the right choices, playing within a system, and doing what it takes to help your team win. This controversy is unfolding within the broader context of women's basketball, where Angel Reese has consistently been in the spotlight, sometimes for the wrong reasons. The rivalry between her and Caitlin Clark has already divided fans, with Reese often embracing the role of the villain. But moments like this go beyond rivalries. They highlight fundamental basketball decisions that could ultimately impact her career trajectory. If she wants to be seen as a serious star in the league, these are the types of moments she must eliminate from her game. No matter how talented a player is, if they develop a reputation for selfish play, it can limit their opportunities, alienate teammates, and hurt their long-term success. The best players in the world understand that winning takes precedence over personal stats, and if Reese doesn't adjust her mindset, she risks being known more for controversy than for her actual skill. What makes this situation even more fascinating is the contrast between this performance and Reese's outing just a week earlier. In what was described as the first 2020 game in unrivaled league history, Reese recorded 22 points and 21 rebounds, earning widespread praise across social media and sports outlets. The celebration of that historic achievement was short-lived, however, as this latest game painted a much different picture of her approach to the sport. This controversy doesn't exist in a vacuum. Angel Reese has been a polarizing figure in basketball since her college days at LSU, where she famously embraced a villain persona during the team's national championship run against Caitlin Clark's Iowa squad. That rivalry has carried over into their professional careers, fueling countless media debates and online discussions. Now, some observers are drawing connections between Reese's treatment of Hull and her past interactions with Clark. While Hull and Clark have no direct rivalry, the optics of the situation have led to speculation in some corners of the sports world. Some have questioned whether Reese's decision to freeze out Hull, a white player, could be connected to broader frustrations about race, media attention, and the ongoing narratives in women's basketball. It's important to note that there is no concrete evidence to suggest that Reese's decision was motivated by anything beyond a questionable basketball instinct at the moment. However, in a sports landscape where narratives often shape public perception, incidents like these inevitably add fuel to larger discussions. Reese has become a prominent figure not just in basketball but in the broader sports culture. Her off-court presence as an influencer and content creator is undeniable, and for some critics this raises concerns about where her priorities truly lie. After the game, she was seen engaging in social media activity and spending time with high-profile figures from the entertainment industry. One particularly ill-timed post that drew criticism was a pre-game video of Reese dancing with the caption "Game Day Mood." While harmless on its own, the optics of this post, combined with a poor performance and a frustrating loss, gave critics even more ammunition. To those already questioning her commitment, this became further evidence that she might care more about her personal brand than refining her game. Beyond Reese herself, this controversy also has implications for the unrivaled league. As a relatively new and growing platform, the league thrives on star power to draw in fans and increase viewership. Players like Angel Reese bring valuable attention, but when that attention shifts from impressive performances to in-game controversies, it can create challenges. League officials are undoubtedly keeping a close eye on situations like this, as they recognise that while drama might drive engagement in the short term, long-term success depends on high-quality, team-oriented basketball. If the unrivaled league is seen as a place where individual antics overshadow the game itself, it could struggle to gain legitimacy among serious basketball audiences. Reese is undeniably one of the most visible young stars in women's basketball. Her transition from college to the pros has been under an intense microscope, with every move on and off the court analysed and often criticised. While this doesn't excuse poor team play, it does provide context. The pressure to live up to expectations, prove herself, and maintain her growing brand could all be influencing her decision-making in ways that go beyond what happens in a single game. Some of her supporters argue that this scrutiny is excessive. One bad game or one missed pass doesn't define a player. Even the best in the game have moments of poor judgment. But her critics counter that this isn't about a single incident, it's a pattern. Beyond Reese, the bigger question is what this means for Rose BC's chemistry. Chelsea Gray's 38-point performance was nothing short of incredible, but it also raises concerns. Gray is widely regarded as one of the best passers in the game, known for her high basketball IQ and selfless playmaking. For her to take on such a heavy scoring load suggests that the team's offensive flow may have been disrupted by others' ball-dominant play. Was Gray forced into being the primary scorer because the team wasn't clicking offensively? If a veteran leader like her is taking on that burden, what does that say about the trust, or lack thereof, between teammates? These are the kinds of questions that coaches and players have to address behind closed doors if they want to succeed as a unit. Reese's choice to force a contested shot rather than make the simple high-percentage play to Hull wasn't just a mistake. It was a moment that spoke volumes about trust, chemistry, and the balance between individual play and team success. Hull is not a high-profile star competing for attention. She's a solid, hard-working player who was in the right spot at the right time. The fact that she was ignored has led to questions about whether this was simply an in-game lapse or something deeper. Gray is not typically the kind of player who takes over a game with scoring alone. Her natural role is to facilitate and create opportunities for her teammates. That she had to shoulder such a massive offensive load suggests that something wasn't clicking with the team's overall approach. The transition from college to the professional level is difficult for any athlete, but when every move is scrutinized, every decision dissected, and every misstep turned into a major talking point, it adds another layer of complexity. This situation also puts Rose BC's coaching staff in a difficult position. How do they address what was clearly a breakdown in team play? Do they call out the missed opportunity in film sessions, have one-on-one conversations, or let it slide to avoid further tension? These are the types of leadership challenges that can make or break a team's success. A veteran like Chelsea Gray will likely take it upon herself to guide younger players, but ultimately, the coaching staff has to set the tone. If selfish play is not addressed, it can fester and create long-term chemistry issues. If it is handled poorly, it can lead to resentment and divide the locker room. Beyond Rose BC, this situation is also a test for the unrivaled league itself. As a new league trying to establish credibility, it thrives on star power and drama to attract viewers. Moments like these generate discussion and engagement, which can be good for visibility. But long-term, the league's success will be built on the quality of play, not controversy. If these types of incidents overshadow the game itself, it could undermine the league's credibility. The beauty of basketball is that it always provides opportunities for redemption. One bad game, one questionable decision, none of it has to define a player's career. The best athletes take criticism, learn from it, and come back stronger. The question now is whether Angel Reese will do the same. What do you think? Was this just a bad decision in the moment, or is there something deeper going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our follow-up as we dive deeper into this developing story.